In the previous video, we finished just after collecting Mjolnir, which I will most often call the stomp. And we discussed the technique that consists in cancelling this stomp with a blink. And this allows you to get more height and to reach higher ledges, for instance. But this is also what the macro does. So in one input, you first stomp and then blink. Now in this video, I'm going to cover the next section of the game with the slides, as well as the voltwalker section and how to skip it in true ending. But don't worry, I will put a timestamp for the any percent version that I will also demonstrate. And I will stop just before airskip. So when collecting Mjolnir and when you're floating in the air here, I usually cancel the stomp and blink to arrive on this platform here, and then go to this one. So I actually slide and jump, but I don't think this is really important. And here I would also slide, jump, and stomp, and hold the right so that I get this boost and go to the right. So we are going to discuss a lot of things about slides today, but I'll try to make it clear. So when you arrive here, hold right, and here I jump to grab this, and I would slide and jump and blink here. Just be careful because you can easily bonk on this. So I would try not to jump too high here and to blink to avoid this bonk. And then hold slide and jump to here. Maybe a blink you will see in a run when it's a smooth movement, what I do. And here we are going to use a lot the technique of stomping, but in the opposite direction, sliding in the opposite direction as what you would expect, and also slam jumps. So remember that we don't have power slides in these runs. If you have power slide, the movement here is more or less the intended movement, but I'm going to describe how to do it without power slide. So notice that for a normal stomp, if I stomp here, I will slide to the left. And so what the game actually wants you to do is to stomp here. But it is possible to actually slide in the other direction like this. So how to do this? Well, it's very easy actually. You just need to hold the direction that goes parallel to the slope or the wall that you want to slide on. So in this case, the slope is an upwards right slope. So I want to hold the up and right direction while sliding on this. And this is the same for the stomp. So when I stomp, notice here that I use the stomp cancel blink to reach the platform. So when I stomp here above this slope, I will hold up and right and keep slide. And this allows me to slide in this way. And you can see that I slide on the wall afterwards because I have enough speed. But when I'm on the wall, then if I want to continue the slides, I would rather hold only up. And this is exactly what happens for moose skip actually. So if you want to see what happens for moose skip, but without some walls that blocks the way, start a slide here, and here you can. So here the wall is a bit small, sorry. But if you manage like this, so here I'm holding. Actually, I was holding right as well, but if you have enough speed to initiate the slide on the vertical wall, then you can do exactly the same as for the moose skip. So I may demonstrate this maybe a little bit later because we have a larger wall. Here, only with the stomp, I already get pretty high. So that's the first thing that you need to know. If you stomp and slide on the slope, you can go in the opposite direction as what is intended, provided that you hold the right direction. The right direction being the direction that is parallel to the slope or the wall that you want to slide on. Now, you can do the same thing and jump even higher if instead of holding slide just after the stomp, you really slide and you jump like this. So maybe in this very example, it's not that clear that it's actually launching me higher. But in some of the next ones, you will see it more clearly. And also, you don't stick to the wall. For a slide, you really stay on the wall like this. You can see the slide animation actually. But when I jump, I don't stick to the slide, to the wall, sorry, excuse me. If I jump and really slide, I don't stick to the wall. So these are the two main techniques that we are going to use in this area. And it depends on the situation what is best or not. If you really want to stick to the wall, maybe it's better to slide. If you want to gain more height or go away from the wall, then it's better to jump. So let's see what it means for the next ones. So here it doesn't really matter. You can just jump off your slide and reach this ledge. And here usually what I would do to be able to reach, to be on top here to perform this stomp is that I would slide, jump, and blink like this. And when I'm above the slope, I would stomp. Also, all of this, you don't want to be too close to the wall when you stomp. You want to be somewhat in the middle of the curly part. At least that's my experience with it. So here you would do something like this. And here, of course, you hold up and left. And you see here, so I can slide on the wall like this. And even if I go down, I can start again. So as long as you hold slide, so here I release slide, sorry. But if you hold slide and you start sliding down, you can just keep up and restart the slides like I just did. So here I release slide, so it was not fine. And you can also blink, of course. We saw that for moose skip also. This works as well. So let me just try to initiate the slide again with enough speed. So here, okay, this is not what I wanted to show. Okay, I'm going too high, so she's not in the slide anymore. But hopefully this was clear enough. But when you do this, you can just blink while holding the correct direction, and this will be fine. Like this, right? So you probably need to practice this a little bit. It's not too hard, honestly, the basic thing. Then if you really want to have full control over what you're doing, maybe then it's a little bit harder. I don't claim that I have full control of it. I'm just trying to explain to you what we understand of this. But if you just care about traversing this area and the speedrun, then here, as I said again, I would slide, jump, blink, and do this, and probably release and jump off the slope. So if you actually jump here and not, jump and not slide, you may even be able to go in between this and arrive directly here in the air. Now for this one, this is one of the places where you actually want to jump and not just to slide. So let me show you why. If you just slide, it's a bit hard to reach actually this place. So you can, but if you jump, it is much easier. Like this. And you can even go as high as here. And you don't need to care about this slide on the left. So that's one of the places where I would rather jump than hold slide. But if you don't manage to get that high, don't worry. Once you're here, you can do it again. So you want to be somewhere here in the air, not too close to the right because you would probably slide back down, and not too close to the left because then you cannot activate the stomp, but somewhat in between here, like this, and then you hold up left. If you cannot manage to really get up here, something that you can do in this kind of slopes is to hold slide and jump. And this will help you reach higher places. So we will use that in a few places, but this is one of the places where you can think of this. Like this. And then you go here. All right. So in this place, you can do the trick in either of those stomps. I usually do it on the right, like this, and I would again hold up and right. Here a slide works, but also a jump. Just know that if you jump, sorry, if you jump, you may bonk on this thing in the middle because, as I said, you get pushed away from the wall. So even if you jump, you may want to hold right. So see here I bonked. So you may want to hold right in order to avoid this. But you could reach a very high place and you don't have to jump from this platform to this one in this case. So let me just demonstrate here because we have a bigger wall what I was saying for sorry, come on. What I was saying for the slides on vertical walls, like this. So this is what happens for moose skip. In this case, I prefer to mash, but actually you can do it in rhythm and it's fine. The important thing is just that you don't like this. You need to continue the slides. You need to not go away from the wall and from the slide. And this you can hear with Lumina's sound to pay attention to this. So let's try to initiate it with enough speed. Maybe I'll just go from here, like this. Okay. So here when you have Fafnir, if you detach from the wall, then you will stomp. But for Mooskip, you don't have such an issue. You will just fall down. Okay. Let me just try once to like slide down, and here I can slide up again. And I can even blink. Okay. So here I would jump, do something like this, and arrive here. And I would hold slide and jump and climb this in this way. So holding slide and jumping allows you to climb this. This is also actually what we do, you know, to climb Fafnir just after the aqueduct, before Fafnir skip. And this is useful also later in the run. So you would arrive here, and here again I would hold slide and jump and do a stomp somewhere like here, holding up left, because that is the direction of the slope. And here I would do the same jump and stomp here with up right. If you jump, you can sometimes reach very like this. You can reach almost even high enough to get to this place directly. So that's it for the slides. Now, the next trick. So in trending, we have the red cloak, which makes our life easier. But in any percent, you can do a small skip here. So you would slide here, jump, do the macro, and put the cloak, the blue cloak. And this will allow you to reach directly here. And you would stand on the wall here and then be able to go up. So let me try to show this. It is possible without the macro, of course, but it just makes things a little bit easier. So something like this. Okay, I almost got it. Like this. And so, in my experience, the point here to get it is to do the macro not too early. So somewhere around the edge of the flag in the background, or the kind of lighter spot in the bricks in the floor. So not directly at the corner, but a little bit further away. And then after the blink, you want to put on the cloak. So let me try to show that again. So here it was almost good. The thing is, you also want to try to avoid to bonk. So I don't get it all the time, but this is the visual cue, and try not to blink too early. If you cannot manage this, of course, there's always the possibility to just do the intended way. So you would stomp this and get the voltwalker, either by grabbing it. So remember that you can grab voltwalkers just like you can grab cubes, and either you take it with you, or you can release it and just use the fact that it gives you some magnetism, and then go all the way up. Something like this. You can do it with blinks and reach this part. Now, for any percent, I will put in the description a timestamp so that you can see what to do next. This is also useful for true ending, but if you don't want to do the voltwalker skip. But now I'm going to present voltwalker skip, which saves about 10-ish seconds in true ending. So see if you think it's worth it for you or not. But the goal is to skip this voltwalker section by going out of bounds and using the garden. The way to do it is the following. We are going to go out of bounds here on this wall. So the out of bounds is just for Fafnir skip. We are going to use this time the red cloak, release it and put it again to rotate Lumina. And while we do this, we want to use the macro and hold right to clip to the right wall. Then you want to keep the red cloak on because we are going to do the technique with the slide that we just mentioned like this, but on the other side of the wall. So you will go up and start to slide and mash slide. And when we reach the top part here, and Lumina will go off the wall, if you slide, you will hear the stomp noise and not the slide noise. And when you hear the stomp noise, you want to cancel the stomp and go to the left so that actually we walk on this, what is here the ceiling, but out of bounds, this will be the floor. So let's try to do this. My visual cue for this is the middle of this glass window in the background. Because actually this magnet on the right extends higher than what you see. So here I'm still on the magnet, as you can see. So on the magnet, it's not possible to do the out of bounds. So we need to be on the wall, but to still use the magnetism from the magnet. So here you can see, and if you try to do it, I cannot go much further actually, if I'm not moving. So this is more or less the end of the magnet. But if I'm walking, I can reach a bit higher. And so if you reach the middle of the window, it's a good place to do the out of bounds. So let me try to do it. Like this. So now I'm out of bounds on this wall, and I'm holding the red cloak to stick on the magnet. Now I will do the slides while holding up, and when I'm on top of the room and I will hear the stomp noise, I will cancel it with a blink while holding left. So sometimes you stomp here, so you can retry, you can cancel it and retry. Come on, please, Mina. Stop stomping. Here. So it took me a couple of attempts here to initiate the slides correctly, but it's exactly what I was showing you on the other side of the wall. And when I reached high enough, there was no wall anymore, so I activated the stomp instead. And by blinking to the left, I canceled the stomp, and now I'm standing actually on top of this floor. Now, once you're here, you want to be able to go to the room that is above. To do so, I just hold slide and left and I jump. And at the end here, there will be a small elevation in the ceiling of the normal room, so in the floor for us. And this will allow you to go into the other room. Once you see that you move into the other room, and I will give some caveats just afterwards, you want to pause very fast and to reload. And this will make you respawn in the garden. Now the thing is, sometimes it fails. And the problem is that when it fails, it just makes you respawn in this room, and then it's very hard to get it back. Even if you see that it's going to fail and you want to attempt it a second time, it's pretty hard to back up, unfortunately. You can see that the rooms are not loaded correctly or are reloaded correctly, for instance, with the glass windows here. So when you go to the upper room, it will load the garden, and you will not see these glass windows perfectly. And you can try it again when the windows are back to normal. But let's try to get it actually first try. So here I would do this. Oh, so this is a failed attempt actually. Maybe I was waiting for too long while doing the explanations. See how now the windows are back to normal and they were not for a second? So I actually need to stay longer in the garden. like this. Maybe this is good enough. This is what you would want. Now I'm not sure because I failed it once that it will work. No, okay. So let's try to redo the whole thing, but this shows you what can happen. Okay, sorry. I was a bit confused. This is what I should do. So hold up left actually. Like, so this should be what you want. But now that it's fades, I'm not sure I can back it up. So I will probably cut the video and come back with one that is actually successful. So this time it worked. So when you reload, you will arrive here in the garden, but you don't want to go into the garden. You want directly to go to the left. So here I would blink, for instance, and here I will hold slide, and so jump slide like this. And for this axe door, you can actually break axe doors from behind just by sliding. So I will slide here. So this makes you go back, so you have to re-slide in direction to go to the left again. And here I will slide, blink, in order to be on top of the rocks, and then stomp and do the jump version. So here I actually missed because I was a bit too much to the left, but it destroys the rocks. So that's the important part. Now you can just try it again from here, like this. So if you just slide, you can also reach it. And if you're just a bit too low, you can do the stomp console like this and grab with a blink. And you will arrive here. So just before going to the next room, I will explain now how to do the voltwalker section. So now I'm going to do the same, but without voltwalker skip, we are going to do through the voltwalker section. And this is what is useful for any percent. You can also do it in trending, and it's actually easier because you have the red cloak. But we are going to see how to do it without it. So here again, you would do this trick that I explained. And here I would just slide and jump and blink again. And here I hold slide and then I stomp to destroy this. So just be careful because once you have the stomp, sometimes you want to hold slide to move faster. But if you start to hold slide and you're too high, you will stomp instead. So if you want to avoid stomps, you can just hold slide all the time that you don't want to stomp, or be careful to start pushing your slide button when you're low enough. So to cross this section here, we want to use the voltwalker. So we are going to grab it. Again, if you have the red cloak, you can just forget about the voltwalker and use the red cloak here. So you grab the voltwalker, go here, and here we are going to use a small trick that allows us to transfer the voltwalker across this grid in the middle. You can also do that with cubes. So you want to throw the voltwalker next to it, then blink to the other side and re-grab it. So I'm holding left to throw it and blink, and I re-grab it like this. If you miss, don't worry, you can just blink back and retry. And if when you blink you start to fall down here, you can just reload and you will be back to the other side. So no worries about it. Then you would just fall down and use it again here, which allows you to skip completely the section down here. And from here on, you don't need the voltwalker anymore. So you can just blink through this and leave its life. Here you will want to use the cloak and blink through that. Arrive here, blink through it here. And in trending, it's also easy because you have the red cloak. Just, try to dose it well so that you don't bonk, but this is not a major thing. But if you don't have the red cloak for any percent, if you have power slide, it's a bit easier, but it's manageable without it. So with power slide, I would just try to do this. So I would start from here, jump in the slope and slide, and try to reach high enough. And if I reach almost high enough, I will stomp console blink and do it a few times. So actually, even without power slide, it's possible to do it like it, but I don't think that this is very consistent. You can also try to add a blink like this to this recipe, but this is mostly not how I want to do it actually. There are also some techniques, but I'm not very familiar with them, to do this slide, jump, and blinks from here, but I'm not going to explain that. So what I can recommend here is just to stomp and jump, as we did in the slides. It's a bit tricky because you really need to jump quickly and to avoid this wall, well, the ceiling, corner, and wall. So you need to practice this a bit. It is not 100% consistent, and sometimes this will happen to you just like this. So if you jump too early, you will not jump high enough. If you jump too late, you will bonk. But eventually you can do something like this. And here I was able to grab because I was high enough with the stomp console blink. So let me try to do it again, like this. And you can have like these ones are not very clean, but you can have some pretty clean ones as well, which allow you to go directly to the good place without having to stomp and blink, and without bonking. So this is a matter of practice. As you can see, as of recording this, I haven't practiced a lot, so these are not perfect, but you could see how to do it, I hope. So let me give it a few more tries and then we'll move on. So this was good enough. I would like just to have a kind of a clean one. If I cannot manage, we will probably find that in some of my runs of any percent, because in trending I don't do this. So you see, even though it's not the cleanest ones, I can still grab the ledge, which is what matters at the end of the day. So moving on, here you would use the cloak and go to the right. Here you want to slide, but again, so if you start to slide when you're too high, you will stomp. This can be sometimes a bit frustrating when you want to navigate fast and you stomp. So be careful with this. So here I will slide and jump. And here you need to be a little bit careful because there are some obstacles and you can kind of get blocked. So not in this space, but here in the middle, you can kind of get blocked. So you will need to slide again or to blink. I don't have a specific routine here. It's more or less like I do what I can, but it's based on slides, jumps, and blinks. And if you can reach the part on the right, then you can also stomp. So let me try to do it from here again. So gain some speed, try to reach this part, and here you can either jump and slide. Here you have a small ledge actually, so once you're here, you're safe. But if you can also try to stomp and hold up and right or up in this. And once you reach here, also, so you may want to slide or blink, but this is the tricky part is this small part here. And here you would just do, just like for the slides, you will reach here. Hopefully you can have a good one that allows you to get on top of the rocks that are destroyed because I'm using the save file as the former explanation, and you will stomp here. But if you cannot, just try to stomp next to it at least, and if you cannot either, you have to reach here, for instance, and to do just like for the voltwalker skill. So now's the time for the last room for this video. So again, here you want to try to do the slam jump. So when you stomp and jump to reach as high as possible. And so you want mostly to arrive here to be able to take this magnetic beam. So once you're here, you would use the cloak, try to stay inside, and here you can release it and put it back to skip the way on the right. You can also blink to help yourself. So let me show you with the blink, something like this, and you would blink here, for instance. So I did it a little bit too soon, like this, and you could use it. Sometimes you will just land here, that's fine. And in true ending, you can also, if you arrive too much in the middle but quite high, you can try to use the red cloak here, but I don't think this saves time because it's a bit tricky to. Actually, if you do so, you will not have enough speed to do this. So you will have to go to the right, which is fine. And here I would just glide and blink and so on, and we arrive here, the place for airship. And this will be, sorry, the subject of the next video. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.